Why would MLB teams offer long-term contracts when they don't know what the next CBA will look like? Couldn't a long-term deal end up being even worse when the next CBA is finalized? I get a Coca. That's what we had first in line, and we couldn't go out of turn. That makes sense. We're a small shop here. So let me talk about that question, if you don't mind, because we are now in MLB offseason. We've got a bunch of free agents. We can talk about Kyle Tucker. We can talk about Schwarber. Let's just talk about the concept of a long-term deal and what changes could come in the next CBA. So at the end of this year, there's going to be a new CBA that is going to be negotiated, though we learned that during the GM meetings, there's already been a session, supposedly. Believe me, no deal is going to be announced anytime soon. However, could one of the things that the owners ask for is a maximum in contract term, where instead of 13-year deals and 12-year deals, that you can get a 8-year deal and that's it? Is there a chance that a player will not be able to make more than $35 million? Could that be negotiated? It could. Is there an opportunity where there could be a salary cap? We've heard a lot about it. It's possible. Given all the things that could possibly change, why would I sign a player to a long-term deal, which would be in violation of the very rules that may be put in place in order to make it so I can save money? The answer is the teams who are in the market to give the type of contracts that will be worse, higher, longer than what could be allowed in an ideal CBA world from an ownership perspective. Those teams won't feel screwed by the new rules. They'll feel fortunate that they were able to sign these players this year under the old rules where they could flash their might, where they could crush their competition. The question that you should be asking is, why wouldn't more players ask for long-term deals this year and take them at a discount if they believed that long-term deals and the parameters around them were going to change in the next CBA? And the answer to all of the questions is that the way you act as a team, no matter what people say, the way every one of the 30 Major League Baseball teams will act is that there's not going to be a work stoppage, that there's not going to be a salary cap, that there's not going to be meaningful change to the rules as they exist. That peace under Rob Manfred will once again reign. That even in the example of missing a week or two of the season, that can always be made up because the broadcasters are more than willing to do it, as you recall happened in the last CBA. All of those things point to a resolution, whether it's today or in a year, but a resolution that leads to games, that leads to signings, that leads to players being players and teams being teams. You cannot change your strategy based on a what if that is such a remote possibility, even though on this show I would tell you there's going to be a work stoppage. There is going to be a lockout in December this year. I guarantee it. Why do I know it? Because I can read the tea leaves within the ownership rank. I can read the tea leaves within the players union. Tony Clark and Bruce Mayer need a win for their constituents, for the players, and a win not manifested in an extra day off, another afternoon game, or a better plate of food pre-game. They need a meaningful financial victory because it is their belief that not enough teams are giving enough of their money to their players. The owners need a win. The win the owners need is that they need to be able to deliver hope to their fans that overcomes their own incompetence. They need to be able to no longer say, hey, Dodgers, 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 Yankees. They need to be able to sell into the hope. My view has always been sell into the competence. Yeah, we are not the Yankees and the Dodgers. But you know what? We have just as good a chance to win the World Series as they do because we have the best front office in baseball. That is a very unpopular thing for small revenue teams to say ever. Because publicly we want to say, hey man, we need help. We need help at the top. We need more revenue sharing. We need some sort of quashing of salaries, quashing of spending, because the appearance of and the inability to compete is so obvious. I always felt like I wanted to go the other way on that. But if you're asking why would MLB teams offer long-term contracts, the answer is because that's what they do.